Welcome back from the desk of Low. Now, this interview right here, man, this was many years in the making, man. I actually wrote to this gentleman when he was in correctional facilities right now. But
Wait a minute.
he's a free man right now, man. He's out blessing the world, man. He even released an album once he was out, man. This guest is very special, man. And I want to start this off by saying, so, man, I got the
Oh,
one and only man. Like I said, this interview is dedicated to the memory of Combat Jack and Black Rob. I got the one and only G.Dep.
man. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Rest in peace, Black Rob, man.
Rest in
Combat Jack,
peace.
man. Word up.
Yes,
You know what I'm
sir.
saying? Word.
So internets, as Combat Jack would say, man. This gentleman right here, man, he has his ups and downs in the industry, man. But once I heard his Child of the Ghetto album now, I was blown away, man, because man, those are one of those early 2000 albums that I listened to in my childhood. I will never forget. So, Mr. Coleman,
Wow.
let's take it back to 1996. You were signed to Tapekins, right? And around that time, your man Puda Black or Puda Brown, he introduced you to Black Rob, and this was around the time your demo song Dollar Bill was going around. Now, was that
Yeah.
around six that you were signed to Tapekins?
Yeah, that was about 96, and that was my man Puka Broxy. You know
Yes.
what I'm saying? Yeah, my man Puka Broxy, he had one of my demo tapes. And yeah, definitely, man. But yeah, it was around 96 when I first ran into Tape King.
And the reason why I dedicated this interview to Combat Jack and Black Rob, because before both those gentlemen passed, Black Rob did this in-depth interview, and then he brought up you, and he can really tell that he cared about you as a friend, as a brother. He got emotional during that interview, and it tears me up inside what the industry can do to friendships at the moment. That's why after this, I want you to listen to that interview because I think that is something that you need to hear from.
Wow, yeah, I definitely will. I'll check that out for sure.
I'll send you the link and then we'll let from there. But during that now, you do a lot of interviews and they always jump into, the prison time you did, but they never talk about 96, because you signed to the label at a time when one of the biggest artists in the world was passing, but we don't really know how it led up to that because we all know Black Rob was the connection now too. But during that interview, Black Rob seemed he wasn't mad at you, but he seemed kind of hurt from what Puff did because Black Rob really wanted to sign you. So let's talk about
Yeah.
the 96 up going into Bad Boy. Like what happened during that time?
Well, it was one of them things where, I was a freelance artist, you know what I'm saying? So I had, things going on, on my side as far as like, putting out music and stuff of that nature, you know what I'm saying? So, when when Black Rob called me to get, I had like I said, you know about the Tape Kings
Yes.
and things that I had just featured on Gangstar's album The Moment of Truth. I was on that, you know what I'm saying? So, I had some, my track record was getting, fairly I was getting fairly known out there, you know what I'm saying? So when I
Right.
yeah, so when I got with Black Rob, he he obviously, took me over the mountain, over the hill, you know what I'm saying? But I had some some experience with notoriety and things of that nature. But so when I wound up, excuse me, getting with him, and I wound up getting signed to Bad Boy. I didn't really know, it kind of just happened that way. You know what I mean? So and later on, he expressed to me, that he wanted me to sign to his label, but at the time that it happened, you know, he and I knew that it happened very fast. It was one of them things that neither one of us, really had too much, control over. You know what I'm saying? It was just, you know, it was one of them things where it was like, what would anybody do? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was even surprised they wanted to sign me. You know what I mean? So, he was just like blown away. He was as blown away as I was.
Because I always hear in your interviews you were just happy to be there and stuff like that. Now, because you know how he was a true friend to you. Most people when they get signed, They never go back for their friends right now. You are featured. I don't know if the people can see this, but you are featured on
Yeah.
his debut out under BR. That stands for Black Rob featured. That's the very first time I heard you, and that shows his loyalty as a
Oh,
friend. Because like most
yeah.
people, when they don't, they're like, man, that's just my guy from the hood. He ain't going on the album.
Yeah, man. No, but at that point, I was already signed to Bad Boy. You know what I mean?
Because that was
When,
because that was from the down the line joint. That's the first time that anybody,
yeah,
John Pierre heard you, Joe Hook. He's like, "Would you like to sign with
yeah,
Ben?"
right. You know what I mean? And you know what I'm saying? He pulled me to the side, and you know what I'm saying? So by that, by the time his album came out in '99, we had just, we was already, well into, swapping songs and getting on each other's albums. You know what I'm saying? So
Because you guys
yeah,
had that chemistry together. Like I'll never forget the G.Dep, like the Let's Get It track. Like man, like I always hear stories about that track that 50 Cent was involved in that track somehow now too. Now that I actually had the gentleman whose album was on, was 50 Cent like ever penning stuff for that song, the Let's Get It? It was your first single on Ghetto of the Children of the Ghetto, so Child of the Ghetto, so.
yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, I hear that a lot, man. I don't. There's no truth to that. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, I wanted to know.
yeah, nah. 50 Cent ain't had nothing to do with that, man. I don't know where that's coming from. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I heard he said it himself,
Yeah.
and he might be a little mistaken on he needs to go back in his files or records or whatever's going on. But that ain't the case, man. I'll tell you that right now.
And now another reason why I wanted to do this interview with you now too. Most people they will find you through Black Rob. That's how I find you now too. But the biggest mysteries that I had as a kid and still now, it says that you're featured on Espaccio with Little Kim. But when I hear it, there's no G.Dep verse. So it's like, was it like a misprint? Did you have a verse on it? They take it off? Because I wasn't there. So I want the fans to know too, like, why do you credit as like, did you do the chorus? Because man, I would love a G.Dep verse on that song, man. Give me children.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I was on it. I don't know what happened to the verse. I was definitely on it at one point. You
Because
know
you're
what I mean?
credited on it.
Yeah, I mean, I had a verse on it at one point. I have no idea what happened to that. You know what I mean? When I did it, it was being played when we did it. You know what I mean? This just in, this what's it. Yep, that disgusting. Ain't left to disgusting. Just us in this swift hustling. Now, how many you need? You know what I mean? Plenty of these. Hope. You know what I mean? It was on it. I don't know what happened though.
Yeah.
They just, yeah. I don't know. I think when I got arrested, you know what I'm saying? I think kind of a lot of stuff was me and edited and you know what I'm saying, redacted. You know what I mean? That's just how that went. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know.
Yeah, and it was a different time now too. I just like I can't get over the fact that we could have had a G.Dep verse on this classic song. There is a verse on it, but we just never got to hear it.
Yeah, it's out there. It's out there. Somebody got it.
So another thing that they don't bring up now too, everybody brings up your song Special Delivery, but they never bring up this. While you were incarcerated, did you know one of the biggest rappers in the world sampled that song?
Oh yeah, yeah. I heard about that. You talking about
Little
what you
Wayne
talking
and Wes Beats the Uproar track on
Yeah,
5.
right.
So
Yeah.
I was curious, like, well, did that give you like a lot of inspiration knowing that, like something that you've done like almost 10 plus years ago still gets a brand new impact? And especially like if Wayne does it now too, people are gonna look at the credits like G.Dep, then they're gonna open up to the world of G.Dep.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know I was on the credits or anything. You know what
Oh
I
yeah,
mean?
no,
I
yeah,
don't.
no, yeah, they definitely gave you the credits on that.
Oh, well, wow, well, yeah, I didn't know that. Well, I mean, that's a beautiful thing, man. You know what I'm saying? When I heard it, at first I was a little thrown aback. I was like, wow, I didn't know, people even do stuff like that. Like, it was a single that I had and that he used for a single. So it was like, wow, is that even like legal? Like, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? That
yeah,
was
yeah,
the
yeah.
first thing
They
that came to
paid
my mind. You
somebody
know
for
what
the
I'm saying?
sample because they got to sample that now too.
Right, right. So then, after I really, looked at it, I was definitely just, I was honored, you know what I'm saying, to know that the brother, a brother such as himself would even use that, and then the fact that it was so long ago,
Yeah.
between the times of us doing it, you know what I'm saying. So it was definitely an honor, man.
And I always hear that you're the man credited for bringing the Harlem Shake to a national forefront now, too. Because every time I hear that, everyone's like, oh, G.Dep. G.Dep was the first one to bring that to the national forefront, too. I'm like, man, when I went back in time now, too, you don't see that in a video. So, like, do you take like humble credits? Like, no, not really. But at sometimes it's like, sometimes I did kind of do it.
Nah, I mean, I can't, all I can say is, yeah, we put that in the video. We was probably, the first people to, like to like get it highly publicized, you know what I'm saying?
Like
But, you
international.
know, yeah, but I gotta, I gotta always, give props to, where props are due, man. You know what I'm saying? Dude, the brother that created that dance was, a brother named Al B. He created it in at halftime up in Harlem. They have this basketball tournament in Rucker Park, and every halftime he would come out. He would dance and do his dance, and he made the Harlem Shake. And from what I understand, he said that he did that dance because he was drunk, and like he was like just drunk,
I did not know
and you know
that.
what I mean? Yeah. And he had the shakes, and he did, and he came up with that dance. You know what I'm saying? So shout to him, rest in peace. He passed away. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I mean, I just give props where props is due. I mean, wherever you see it at, whoever you want to give the props to, it's all good. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you what it is. So.
And that's why I always tell everyone now too. Sometimes you can put something out in the world and you just don't know who will gravitate.
Yeah, definitely, man. I mean, when we did it, we needed somebody, we needed something, flashy
For the
for the
video.
for the the video. Yeah, you know what I mean. We wanted something that'd grab people's attention. So Puff decided to, he said, let's do some auditions, for just some dancing to see what we come up with, and then he saw the dance, and he was like, yeah, that's cool, but I think we should, have some young kids doing that because there was some older kids doing it in the audition. They came in and they were doing it. He was like, I like that dance, but it still needs like a more of a wow effect.
Yeah, like
So
that
he's like,
sense to it.
yeah,
Yeah.
he said, let's get some real little kids to do it, and that's how that came about with the real little, the little young ones. You know
Yeah,
what I
'cause there's
mean?
video doing it too, yeah. Also,
Yeah.
also what I like about you now too, I don't know if you noticed now too, but did you know you are the only artist in hip hop history to have Rakim and Cool G Rap on the same song featured as solo artists together? You are the only artist that.
Wow. Well, that's an honor. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
yeah,
Word.
oh yeah, that's a
Yeah,
big honor right there,
yeah,
man. The legends right there. But
yeah, man.
you know that?
Yeah, I did. I did. A couple people told me that, over time, you know what I'm saying? Like, Pat, over the years, people, but yeah, yeah, man. So it's definitely an honor, man. That's one of my favorite songs off the album.
Sir, it's called I Am
I
for
tried,
people
I
who don't
tried.
know.
Yeah, that's I am. I tried to hang out with him. You know what I mean?
Oh, you
I
did?
just
Oh,
had
you
to,
held your own. Don't worry, you held your own,
yeah.
man. Because like when I
I mean,
always like especially like a new artist like that of a caliber, because I remember having that CD, I was like, Rakim and Cool G Rap, Jesus Christ, man, these fucking heavyweights right here. And
yeah,
later on, like it's just one of those collaborations that are so rare. It's like an Easter egg. It's like, man, like you really have to know hip hop to appreciate something like that. Now, here, I wish more
right.
people knew it. That's why we're putting it out there.
I got you. Yeah, man. Yeah, that was definitely something. Shout out to Puffy for even thinking of that idea, man. Because he put that was his he put that together right there.
Now, even like with now too, like I understand, like like after your release of Child of the Ghetto, man, I was curious now too, like because I tried to find interviews with you like during that time, but it's just so hard to find from back then now too. During the release of Child of the Ghetto, I was curious, like what was their release party like, and like what was it like the months after now too, because it was one of those rare albums from the 2000s where it was well put together, but it just didn't hit with the core audience like it should have now too. So like what happened like after like a few months of the release of it now too?
I mean, a lot of it, a lot of it had to do with, it was a lot of it was already, probably out there. You know what I'm saying? Bootlegging was at its all-time high at
Oh,
that time.
man. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, it did what it did. You know what I mean? It caught on later. You know what I'm saying? But the opening numbers weren't that impressive. You know what I'm saying? It was just one of them things, man. We always got a positive response from the album.
Yeah,
But it's just
it's considered one of the early 2000s hidden classics I've seen on many lists.
yeah, man. I mean, and it's just the way it happened. It's just the way it happened. You know what I mean? I can't say it was a fault of anybody. The label was behind us. We went full throttle. We
The
went with
machine now too, like the remixes, like they couldn't give you any more
yeah,
promotion.
like
It's like, but it's what you said, bootlegging, man. It's just when time we can just
bootlegging was.
cut it.
I remember specifically. I went downtown. Probably like excuse me. I went down south. We went down south about and the album dropped in November. Okay. And we went down south probably in August, right? We went down there for a show. And so we down there, we had some club and we went to the stand where they had like just like, they were selling t-shirts or mixtapes of people that were performing that night and all of that stuff. And they had the whole album.
Oh, already?
We
It's
was
like,
like,
what the hell? I
yeah,
didn't got this.
yeah. I was like, I don't even have this album. I'm looking at how they had the playlist up, everything. I was like, yo, how did y'all get this? You know what I'm saying? And I was like, yo, like it was amazing. Like it was the illest thing to see. I said, yo, so that's what made me realize that, like there was a rap. Like, you know what I mean? Like, come on. If they had the album then, like, come on, who else had it? You know what I'm saying? So by the time the album dropped, that was a big problem. Bootlegging was an issue, man, back then, man.
I'm
So,
just glad, like over time, like people who actually find that album appreciate it for what it is now too. Not to mention now too, like you will have other albums in discography that we gravitated towards now too, because like I think in 2007 or eight, you went and hooked up with Loon for the Bad Boys album. And what made you want to hook up with Loon after the bootlegging issue with Child of the Ghetto? What made you want to be like, let's do this one more time?
Okay. I mean, I felt like I still had, some something to say. I still have music. It's in my my makeup, man. I love to put music together. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, we were kind of presented that opportunity. You know what I mean? And we just put it together. Some people from another label contacted me, and they also contacted Loon. And they were like, "Yo, y'all, you two will be good on the album together. What you think?" So we just put it together. It was that easy. We put it together. Put my verses down. He put his down, and they just put the album together. You know what I mean? And,
Or it was
that's how that.
like a label situation for that one.
Yeah, it was more. It was more so, just a business move. We just, we got, like I said, we got presented the opportunity, and then we just put it together.
So it makes sense now too, because like I can tell around that time now too, even with the Ghetto Legend album, like don't take offense to this, but the Ghetto Legend album would probably have to be your weakest in discography because man, once I heard your influential album and how you were able to record that over the phone, I had my I had my thoughts. I was like, man, this is gonna sound like the Shine, man, over the phone with when he went at this, but man, I was surprised how
Mhm.
clear it was over the phone, man.
Oh wow, appreciate that, man. Appreciate that, and thanks for checking for that album, man. What you think about that album?
So what I like about influential now too, I like how you didn't just stick to like I'm gonna go boom bap. There's literally trap beats on this album, and like it's like yeah, you're learning like the way on how rap is done nowadays now too. Yeah, people can do the boom bap and stuff like that, but sometimes you may want to try something else, and it shows that
Right.
you still have the drive in you. And I think that when you went away,
Appreciate
let's say went away on vacation, when you went away on
it.
vacation, I think that it really helped like clear your mind and like get everything straight because like when you go away, it can do two things to you. It can wreck you or break you. And it seems that it actually helped you on the inside now too, because you sound more clearer, more healthy. You actually, can stick to a topic now because man, at a time now too, we were worried about G.Dep now too. Because I watched that interview where you were in that cab freestyle, and like to see you now, man, you look so much more healthier now.
Oh wow, yeah, I appreciate it, man. You already know, man. I was going through some bad times, man. So like you said, man. That time away. Sometimes, you gotta figure out, figure out how you can get something good out of it. You know what I mean? And you got the time and space for mostly anything that you want to do. Especially as an adult. You need most adults need to worry about bills and, things of that nature, taking care of their responsibilities as far as, what they've created. But when you're incarcerated, you kind of, you somewhat, removed from a lot of those responsibilities. So all you really have left is to work on yourself and, what you need to do, what I mean, for yourself, and with yourself. So you're right. That time helped me to kind of, just clear, see things a lot clearer, and here we are.
And I'm pretty sure like things like that can inspire you now too. Like I was curious now, like being inside, like with the passing of Black Rob now too. This is like that's a gentleman who I never got to tell who it was in my top 10. And then I told myself in this lifetime, man, I'm gonna interview G.Dep and let him know about his contributions to the game didn't go overlooked. You released some of the music that impacted like my generation the most. Like man, I'll never forget the time we heard Special Delivery at the dance or Let's Get It, or even like buying the album and listening to like the Cool Gene Rakim track. Because nowadays people throw away artists so like easily now too. And I didn't like the way that how Black Rob like near the end of his life was doing. It hurt me. I didn't even know the man now too, but his music gravitated to me, and that's why I really
Yeah.
wanted you to listen to that Combat Jack interview because he got so deep on that. He talked about his family, how his mom didn't love him, stuff like that. You, Puff. It's
Yeah.
you really got to hear that.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely check it out, man. Yeah,
So,
it's,
so with that being said, now too, they always have memories in our lifetime. Now, I got two more questions for you, and then I'll let you go, sir. But
it's so good, bro.
there's a time where I lost a friend like Black Rob now too, but the memories I always think of. So do you have like a memory of Black Rob that you always remember just every time it comes across you? It's like, man, I miss my man's.
Yeah, I mean, I always tell people I had so many with him, man. Like, I just, if it wasn't for us just riding around, just laughing,
Did you get to witness
you know.
Bacardi Rob? Man, I know, I know.
Huh?
You remember when he went by Bacardi Rob?
Yeah, man. I mean, that was he was a little older than me, you know what I'm saying? So, that was one of his nicknames. When I started getting with him, he told me he used to be called Cardi Rob, Robbio, you know
Right,
what I'm
yeah,
saying? So,
Robbio, yeah.
yeah, you know what I mean? So, when I got with him, we was calling him Black O, Black, you know what I'm saying? BR, you know what I mean? B Robbie, like, stuff like that. But, a lot of the stuff that, you know, a lot of the memories I had with him, like I said, man, were just all just fond memories, man. Like, we would always joke, laugh, we were, the vibe we always had was righteous. You know what I'm saying? It was like, yo, we helped each other out. He helped me. I helped him. Whatever he needed, he had it. Whatever I needed, I had it. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, it was just he was just a good brother. Like, you know what I'm saying? I never had any issues with him. You know what I mean? We talked about anything, everything. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, it's like when people ask, what are the most fond memories? It's hard to really pinpoint any, like, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like it was all good memories, like, you know what I mean? Like, honestly, believe it or not, like, you know what I mean? Like, you
No,
know
he
what I
told
mean?
some
Like,
times now too in that interview how like some of the partying days now too. I was like, man, yo, this is like a wild time back then there too.
yeah. I mean, yeah, we had some wild times, man, wild parties, just running around down in Miami, you know,
Right,
and
right up
other,
there,
you know what I'm saying, other in other countries, you know what I'm saying? I mean, like I could go on, man. I mean, one time in particular, I mean, he's. I remember one time, we was in I think Spring Valley somewhere, and he's just like, I didn't know he was gonna be at the party where we were performing, and I just happened to run into him, man. He just grabbed me so hard. He was like, "Yo, Dad, what's up?" And I
yeah.
was like, it just came out of nowhere. Like I didn't even know he was there. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm just like, yo, this my brother right here. You know what I'm saying? That was that was a memory, that stood out. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, man, it was just so many good times with the brother, man.
So, like I said before, I'll edit this into it. Do you have plans on making an actual proper album that wasn't recorded over the phone now that you're out? Because I know you got a book coming.
Yeah, man, we got the book coming, but we also putting together an album. Got an album coming out called Off the Count. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, just you know, kind of like chronicles the whole, it kind of chronicles the whole experience of me, being incarcerated. You know what I'm saying? From day one, when I turned myself in, to when I came home. You know what I'm saying? So, be on the lookout for that. That's gonna be, we trying to, wrap that, into wrap that with the together with the book as well. And we're gonna also, put another surprise in there, into that whole mix. You know what I'm saying? So just be on the lookout for, that whole package. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna be a package deal. The book, the album, the book, the G.Dep, memoirs of a credible messenger, G.Dep, by Travell G.Dep Coleman, and then you got the album on the Off the Count, excuse me, and we also gonna throw another surprise in there with y'all, man. We gonna hit y'all with the Bermuda Triangle real quick. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So,
Word up.
because I believe that your upcoming album now would probably be your most important piece of work, as opposed from Child of the Ghetto now too. Because, like you said, influential was dope. It just over the phone, so it doesn't feel like a proper reintroduction into G.Dep. That's why I think that this one is we like introspective nowadays now too. So if this album is going to be introspective into like your mind, what you went through, maybe a dedication to some lost friends.
Praise the creator, right? I mean, like I said, it's gonna be more geared towards my experience, if, in being incarcerated. You know what I mean? It's obviously gonna just it's just gonna chronicle, what I've been through. Obviously, I went through, over those years. We lost some people. Some people aren't with us anymore. So that's all gonna be, or pasted in there, and peppered around the album accordingly. You know what I mean?
Now, with that now being said now too, like because I know like you're putting together an album now too. Like I said, this is probably the last question I got before I let you go. You once said that you wanted to reconcile with Puff, because there were just allegations now too. But you being a married man, in the video that came out, would you have second thoughts on reuniting with him after that?
I mean, we have to see, you know what I mean? How things would play out. You know what I'm saying? I mean, obviously, if he's not, whatever's going on with him, if he can't do music, then what are we gonna do? You know what I'm saying? But if he can do music, you know what I'm saying, we might get into that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, everybody makes mistakes. I'm one to attest to that. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yes, sir.
If yeah, man.
Because like I just had to get your answer on that now too, because like It's one thing when it's allegations now too, but it's one thing like when it's somebody that helped change your life, right? Because like they either change it in a positive way or a negative way. Because honestly, because if it wasn't for Bad Boy, we probably wouldn't know like half these artists nowadays now too. That's why there's a good,
Mhm.
bad. It's like a tilt world right now.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, man. I mean, that's definitely true. You know what I mean? I mean, everybody is responsible for their, for their own, for their actions. You know what I'm saying? So, or soon, should be responsible for their own actions. You know what I'm saying? So,
Because
but I mean, as far as that, yeah.
because you had your issues of substance abuse now too, and we always hear these allegations, oh, he does substances. Do you think that like sometimes that he just needs like a minute away from all the busyness because look what happened to you. There was a time in your life where there was all craziness and then you happen to go away and then you come out somewhat rebirth. You don't have addictions anymore, more healthy, more clear-minded. So do you think it's substances with that video?
I mean, obviously, you know what I mean. Obviously, you can tell he was, he wasn't himself. You know what I mean? I mean, so and he said it himself that what I mean. He was going through some things, with drugs and just whatever he was dealing with, alcohol. You know what I mean? So we all know what that's like. You know what I'm saying? So you know if it's time for him to get that under control, that might be what he needs. You know what I'm saying? I mean, who's to say he needs to? Some people have to get incarcerated for them to clear their minds, but some people can actually step away from everything. You know what I'm saying? So like if he can do that, all the better. You know what I mean? Yeah, those situations, regardless of my situation to being in there, I wouldn't I wouldn't wish anybody to be
Oh
behind,
man,
yeah, to be locked up against their will. You know what I mean?
we would wish on the worst enemy. I know that feeling.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's the closest to being,
I like
you
that
know.
after what you said now too, instead of just bashing him now too. That just shows your character. It shows that how humble you are now too, because most days they'll be like, you know, going wild.
Oh well, yeah, yeah. I mean, look, I don't, it is what it is, man.
I'm
Like
telling you
I know,
that
I know the
G.Dep, man.
brother.
Once you start watching more of these interviews of your label mates and how some of them be acting and to see how you come out so humble like that, you're gonna be like, man, I'm glad on myself now too, because man, when other people got to ask that question, they went off. So that's why I wanted to ask you because I know you would give your honest opinion.
Oh, okay. Well, it is what it is. Hey, that's all I can do.
Now, I'm gonna put all your links to your music in the link below. But before we leave, do you have any words of inspiration? Because I don't just like leave an interview like, tell them what you got going on. Do you have any inspiring words for somebody possibly dealing with substance abuse or somebody who is dealing with your situation, just wants to get something off their chest?
I mean, as far as anybody, if they were dealing with something that I was dealing with, I mean, you have to, just ask yourself what you want to, what you want for yourself. You know what I mean? I can't, sit here and make a blanket statement. I would say, just take care of yourself at that point. You know what I'm saying? That's all I can really say. You know what I mean? If it's something that's, hindering you from being, yourself or who you need to be for you or those around you, then, if you can take care, if you can free yourself of that, do so. I believe. You know what I'm saying? If not, it's up to you. You know what I'm saying? But people, anybody dealing with substance abuse, at the same time, you know, try to figure out what it is that's really bothering you, what it is that's really going on there, like So, and I know most people know that, a lot of times that when people have addictions, it's the underlying issue. You know what I mean? So, try to figure that out. What's going on? What's really going on? Be honest with yourself. That's what I could tell people. Really be honest. You know, dead. Dead right. Brutally honest. Yo, what's going on? Like, why am I acting this way? Only you know. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, and try to address it.
Man, that last part needs to be sampled, man. That was powerful. I'm very powerful.
Oh,
Yo, Mr.
appreciate it, man.
Yo, Mr. Coleman, man. Yo, I just want to thank you for doing this interview, man, because yeah, I never would have suspected I would never meet you. Well, not very true. Never thought I would actually give you the
Yeah.
flowers, man, because man, I listened to you as a teenager. That was crazy right here, right? Just,
Man, that is ill. That is ill, man. Here we are, you know.
yes, sir.
But you know, we gonna, you know, we'll meet again, man. You know.
Oh yeah,
We
like I said, yo. So this is what I wanted to say. So I usually do album. I only did like 4 album breakdowns. I interview legends though, but I want to have you back when you release your album, and I want to dissect it track by track. I actually listen to the lyrics. Now we care about lyrics on the station, not just pop radio over here. We care about
Oh,
lyrics.
well, all right. Well, that's what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, when we get ready, you know, we definitely gonna give you a call, man. You already know.
So I'm gonna holler at your publicist, man. I'll always be watching you, G.Dep. Yo,
Yeah, yeah.
G.Dep,
Shout out to
man.
my publicist.
Yo, shout out to your publicist,
Word,
man.
same
Yo,
here.
yo, see a good
That's a
person, man.
fact. That's a fact. Good meeting you too, bro. You already know.
All right, yo, G.Dep, you stay safe, my guy. One love.
You too. One love, bro.